Welcome to Green Ball Extra. We head across to Bangladesh today and talk to assistant coach and national bowling lead, Stuart Barnes. Welcome, Stuart.
Thank you, Craig. Nice to join you again.
As we learned last time we talked, Stuart, you actually had spent some time in Bangladesh with the Bangladesh A side. How are you enjoying being back in Bangladesh?
Well, that was a long time ago, but I've already stumbled across some friendly faces that I'd met before back in 2012, 2013. So yeah, there's some really nice people. We're staying in a very nice hotel currently. Doesn't feel like home, I'll be honest, but there's lots of good memories that I'm getting. Yeah.
And how did you assess the Wolves' performance in the 4-day which has just gone by?
Well, there were some really good passages of play. Obviously, we lost the game, so there are some clear areas that we would look to improve on moving forwards. The challenge was always going from indoors to a room isolation to 3 days of training straight into a 4-day game. So the odds were stacked against us really applying enough pressure in these conditions against some really good Bangladesh players. We had some really good pockets of play. I mean, I was really pleased with some aspects of the bowling performance. So an obvious one was in the Bangladesh first innings when they were 245 for 3. And then we proceeded to take 7 wickets for 59 runs. And it was really just through persistence and consistency. And the real message around that bowling performance in their first and only innings was the importance of just trusting the process, and however long it takes, you persist, and you'll get your rewards. Like later on down in the day, the last session of the day. So that was really good that they experienced that, because that was firm evidence that, you know, if you try and push the game quickly, you'll open up areas to score. If you're happy to bowl dots and dry up the scoreboard, things will happen at some point. There were some really nice performances. The assessment at the end of the day was a good one, because we got a lot of views from the players. So from a coaching point of view, having the players give their views was really good. But definitely we've taken away a couple of key areas that we need to improve on whenever it is we play our next red ball game.
Indeed. Actually, in an interview today, Mark Adair mentioned patience and not chasing that wicket seemed to be his strategy in that first game. So that seems to resonate with what you're saying there.
Yeah, Mark did really nicely. And, you know, he wasn't the only one. I mean, all the seamers, and then lots of overs bowled by Harry Tector, Gareth Delaney, JJ going in there for a nice bowl as well. So across the board, they all had an opportunity to get into some sort of rhythm, and an opportunity just to show how good they are at just bowling the same ball as often as possible. But Mark, it's the best I've seen him bowl. I mean, I've not been around for very long, and yes, it's a red ball, but it really showed the importance of if you commit to executing patience, whatever that looked like. He got his rewards, and it was really good to see.
And in the nets or in training, I mean, what, have you been working on anything specific with the bowling unit since arriving in Bangladesh?
Well, the first thing to do really was it was hard work, because we kept them on their feet as soon as we were allowed out of our rooms. We had committed to a tough couple of days of training on your feet, 2 spells of bowling, and just get used to what will be required during those 4 days. And rightly or wrongly, I see cricket is in its simplistic form as possible. And so my main messages was, right, let's work out what your best ball is. And the red ball game and lots of the white ball game, in my opinion, evolves around the top of the stumps. And so we really just committed to training that. And like anything, your performances on the park are a good reflection of how you've trained. So we trained well, and there's some really good pockets of or passages of play where we executed how we were training. Yeah, from that point of view, it was really pleasing.
Now, moving from white ball to red ball is usually quite a shift in temperament for batters. What about for bowlers? What's going to be a message moving into the white ball series?
Well, whenever we train, I encourage the bowlers to make it an uncomfortable environment for the batters, and by that I mean we're there to perform in the nets. We're not there for the batters' practice, if you see what I mean. And the consequence of approaching nets like that is that it's tough nets, and games are tough. So the way that we flick that switch from red ball to white ball is really, okay, we're going to have two short spells here. The first one, if we're going to talk seamers, the first one is going to be new ball. So which of the bowlers can swing this new ball? And pleasingly, most could. And then come back and let's find out who's really good at executing death. And we know that senior team all the way through, bowling death overs can be the difference, or bowling them well can be the difference between winning and losing. So we really place an emphasis, first of all, bowling well the new ball, and then secondly, who is able to execute death, whatever that looks like. But one particular ball I'm looking for, encouraging the players to bowl, is Yorkers.
And then halfway through this white ball series, we're actually going to move grounds from Chattogram to Dhaka. Is there any, from your local knowledge, is there any difference in conditions or anything you would look for moving grounds?
Well, the red ball game here, the wicket was a lot grassier than I remember, and it was good wicket. It did a little bit, but you can expect that with the new ball. The differences from Dhaka to Chittagong that I just remember Dhaka being a lot drier. So that being said, they might leave more grass on the wicket at Dhaka as well. So, but if they prepare a similar kind of wicket, we might have a surface that we can use, and by that I mean some cutters, some slower balls, spinners might come into it nicely. I don't think it will turn quite as much as it did in the UAE for those white ball games, but I just remember it being a hell of a lot drier, and I remember it being a hell of a lot noisier outside the the ground as well. There's a bit more traffic in Dhaka than there is in Chittagong.
Very good. Okay, well, that's it for today. Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure, as always.
And good luck with the series ahead.